PCOS is different for everyone because it's made up of different symptoms. It does not fit into a box, and neither should your fertility plan. Welcome to the PCOS Fertility Health Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Angela Potter, a functional medicine PCOS fertility doctor, helping women like yourself across the country to improve fertility and get the very best chance at getting pregnant with PCOS. Today, you are here to learn about the 3 top most important steps to improving fertility with PCOS. Before we get started, I want to acknowledge you for showing up here. There are millions of podcast episodes out there, and you decided to listen to this one. And that speaks really highly of who you are and where you are in your fertility journey. Even though you've been trying to get pregnant for the past 6 years and you haven't even had a positive pregnancy test, you are still here showing up because you know that there are missing links that you just haven't figured out yet of what's keeping your body from getting pregnant. And being here on a podcast episode like this is showing that you are determined to figure out those missing steps for your body and figure out what your body needs in order to get pregnant with PCOS. That speaks very highly of who you are as a person, and I am really glad that you're here. Be sure to join me over on Instagram. My handle is at Dr. Angela Potter. You'll get updates on new podcast episodes. You will get tools and tips and updates all about PCOS and fertility. So be sure to join me over there. And lastly, have you picked up your free gift from me, which is the free PCOS fertility checklist? This is a 10-item checklist that you will be able to look at on your computer or print out and literally check off the things that you have. And then you'll be able to see, okay, I've checked off these items. What is missing? What are the next steps that I need to take in order to have the best chance at getting pregnant with PCOS? So be sure to download your free gift from me at drangelapotter.com/checklist. I'll include that link in the show notes for you as well. You want to get pregnant with PCOS. I am a doctor with 10 plus years of experience helping women just like yourself improve their fertility and get pregnant with PCOS. And I do that through my proven PCOS fertility protocol, which is a step-by-step process that covers the most important health pillars that have to do with PCOS and an individualized fertility plan in order to pave the way for pregnancy. And so these are the 3 most important steps to take to get you going in that right direction. What are those 3 key steps that you need in order to get dialed in about your body and your PCOS in order to have the best chance at getting pregnant with PCOS? So number 1, that is to figure out your PCOS type. There are 4 different types of PCOS. I'm not going to get into details about each type. I have specific podcast episodes all about those types. But just know that there are different types of PCOS. PCOS is a syndrome. It's made up of different symptoms that create the PCOS syndrome. And within that, there's also different types of PCOS. Too often in the medical world, and you might be experiencing this yourself, is that you just get stuck in this one size fits all, let's put you into a box fertility approach. Typically, that looks like you go in and talk with your doctor and they say, well, let's get you on metformin or let's get you on a letrozole cycle. That doesn't work. Let's get you on another letrozole cycle. That doesn't work. Let's try another. And it's just this forward cog, right? This wheel that you're on that's not truly addressing what's coming up for your specific needs and your specific PCOS. PCOS by diagnosis does not fit into a box. So we should not expect that a one-size-fits-all fertility plan should fit PCOS as well. It doesn't. And that's why that first step is figuring out your PCOS type. You could have one type. You could be a mix of all 4 of the types. It does not matter how many types you have. What matters is that you get dialed in on what type you have. So then you get a plan moving forward that's addressing your PCOS type. That is the first step to getting an individualized plan that's specific to your body and your fertility needs. Step number 2, in order to have optimal fertility with PCOS, is to get comprehensive labs done. Now, it's okay if you don't know the exact set of labs that need to be ordered for your fertility. It is not your job to have that all on your shoulders. That's why you need to be working with a doctor who is well aware of what labs need to be ordered and can interpret those labs from a fertility perspective. This second step is key for you if you have been told by the doctors that you've seen so far, oh, your labs look fine. We don't know what to do for you, so we're just going to keep putting you on medicated cycles. This is a big red flag if you have been told that, because it is not possible to have PCOS and to have irregular cycles and to also have labs that are just fine. Those things cannot exist in the same place, which is a big red flag that there are missing links that are right there on your labs that no one is catching. So with labs, it's important to get this comprehensive look at your body. So I'm talking about we need to get a complete look at all your hormone systems. Yes, of course, we want to be looking at your reproductive hormones like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, but we also have to look at insulin levels, thyroid, and not just TSH, a complete thyroid panel, cortisol levels. We need to be looking at this holistic view of all hormones. Different nutrients in your body. What nutrients are you deficient in? Key nutrients like iron, B vitamins, folate, vitamin D. These things that have been well researched that they impact fertility rates. Is somebody keeping an eye on those for you? And then different markers looking at mitochondrial health or oxidative stress in the body that are impacting egg quality. So do you see how there's this well-rounded view that you can get that looks specifically at your picture? So that's step 1, is understanding, do I have the right level of labs ordered to get this comprehensive view of what's going on in my body? The second step to that is to get those labs interpreted from a fertility perspective, because there are different lab ranges for somebody who is just walking around, just living life, not trying to get pregnant, versus someone who is trying to get pregnant like yourself. How to interpret many labs, not all labs, but many labs, is different from a fertility perspective versus just a normal health perspective. When people talk with me on a PCOS fertility breakthrough session, and 9 times out of 10, I am hearing, well, my labs have been all fine so far. The 2 biggest mistakes with that I see is that 1, the proper labs have just not gotten ordered yet. Like, you have not gotten the information yet that's showing up to show what's keeping you from getting pregnant. And so you need a more comprehensive set of labs. Or 2, that your doctor just isn't interpreting them from a fertility perspective. And you don't want to go walking around with that kind of missing link when your doctor has already ordered those labs, but just isn't able to interpret those to get you to a place where you have optimal fertility health. So step number 1 to improving and getting the best fertility with PCOS is figuring out your PCOS type. Step number 2 is getting comprehensive labs and getting them interpreted from a fertility perspective. Now, let's move into step number 3. Step number 3 is getting a holistic fertility plan that is individualized to your needs. This is not a plan that is medicated cycle after medicated cycle. Like, let's just put you on either Clomid or Letrozole, see what happens. If that doesn't work, we're just going to try it again. That doesn't work, we're just going to try it again, and go on round after round of that, and then just being pushed forward to IVF. Now, those medications are not bad. IVF is an amazing medical advancement, and thank goodness so many families have gotten pregnant with IVF. But that doesn't need to be the first step forward to getting pregnant with PCOS. I have seen this time and time again, that somebody is told that IVF or fertility medications is their only path to pregnancy, and they want to do something different. So they come to see me to work on this root cause of their fertility issues. And we get fertility nutrition set up for them, get, hormones optimized, nutrients optimized, and then they get pregnant naturally. And so that is the key, is to get a holistic plan that's addressing what is coming up specifically for your body. As we talked about in step number 1 about PCOS types, PCOS is different for everyone because it's made up of different symptoms. It does not fit into a box, and neither should your fertility plan. So you need a holistic plan that is helping you with, okay, what is the most important fertility nutrition that you need to have in place that is nourishing to your body, that is sustainable to have in your lifestyle, and helps optimize your fertility? What nutrients do you need in order to improve egg quality? What are your hormones doing, and which hormones are out of rhythm that need to come back into rhythm in order for you to have optimal hormonal health? All of these different elements need to be looked at. Now, I'm giving you just an overview of what a holistic plan can have in place. But the key to this is that it is individualized. Your body's needs are different from your friends and are different from anyone else who's listening to this podcast today. And that's why it's so key for you to get an individualized plan that's specific to what's coming up for you. So now you know those 3 first steps to take in order to improve fertility with PCOS. Number 1, figure out your PCOS type. Number 2, get comprehensive fertility labs and get them interpreted from a fertility perspective. And number 3 is to get a holistic, individualized fertility plan specific to your needs, specific to PCOS. If you don't have any one of those in place, or you have maybe one but not the others, you have got missing links in your fertility plan. And here's what you're going to do next. You are going to sign up for a free PCOS Fertility Breakthrough Session with me. This is a free call where I am going to listen about your fertility struggles. What's been going on over the past few years? And through that, I am going to help you understand what are these missing links that are keeping you from getting pregnant. And then I'm going to help you understand what's the most impactful next step that you can take in order to turn around your fertility so that you have the very best chance at getting pregnant with PCOS. You can sign up for one of those at drangelapotter.com/PCOS. And as we wrap up here today, I want to remind you that this podcast is for informational purposes only. In order to get specific medical advice about your situation, you need to hop on one of those free PCOS fertility breakthrough sessions. PCOS does not fit into a box, and this podcast is meant for generalized information to help you on that path to pregnancy. But you need specific information about your individualized needs, which I cannot provide on this podcast. So hop on a free call with me, and I will help you get really dialed in on your individualized needs. Thanks so much for being here. If you are loving this podcast, head on over and subscribe so that you stay updated on all the new episodes that are coming your way. I'll see you right back here next week.